It's a Guy Jeans podcast.
Show at the Long Beach Convention Center, March 29th to April 2nd. Known as the granddaddy of them all outdoor recreation events since 1946 have been based on this historical show. Join us as we celebrate 75 years of assembling more fishing, tackle, boats, marine accessories, quality hunting and fishing lodges, overland displays, and unique outdoor recreation stuff than any other show in California. Kids under 16 free. A full day of family fun, the kids' fish-free trout pond, the ultimate air dogs, the Great American Duck Races, Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show, archery, air gun ranges, axe throwing, fly fishing, hundreds of seminars, and so much more. Thanks to our great sponsors, Progressive, Accurate, Okuma, Daiwa, Shimano, Fisherman's Landing, Mammoth Lakes, Convict Lake Resort, Costa, Hobie, Rancho Leonero, and Turner's Outdoorsman. The Bart Hall Show, March 29th through April 2nd at the Long Beach Convention Center. Go to hallshows.com. That's hallshows.com. Hey, you guys, this is Guy Jeans, and I'm here with Seth Mostero from Cope's Tackle. And how you doing, Seth?
Great. How you doing, Guy?
I'm doing good, and I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of things with Seth regarding the Central Valley Sports Show and Cope's Tackle and all that good stuff. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. So I want to also say, if you guys have never been to Cope's Tackle here in Bakersfield, I'm actually at Cope's Tackle right now in the back room with Seth, and we're going to talk about all this different stuff. But I want to tell you guys got to come and check out Cope's Tackle and all the gear and everything that they have here. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, for sure. So, tell me about yourself. Like, tell me about your experience. You know, how'd you end up here at Cope's Tackle, your fishing experience and all that?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up fishing. I can't even remember when I started, to be completely honest with you. But if there was a body of water within biking distance, I was going for it. And it was mostly, I grew up down south in Orange County, so it was largemouth bass primarily. But yeah, anywhere I could go, anything I could fish for, I was up for it, So that kind of led to, fishing through high school. I shopped at a local shop called the Longfin in Orange, California. And it's, the premier shop down south. And through that, I kind of decided, this is what I wanted to do for a living. So, working retail, it was kind of a dead end deal. So I knew I had to go to college, to get a sales rep job or move on from there. So I went, I left the Longfin, to go to college full time. And then from there, became a sales rep. I was doing some ambassador work for Penn Fishing, who owns Penn, Berkley, Shakespeare, a lot of brands. So anyway, that led to, a sales rep job for Big Rock Sports, who's like the premier, distributor of fishing tackle to all the local tackle shops, actually across the United States. So, and from there, met Jared Cope. He was a customer of mine. And Jared brought me on up here to manage Cope's Tackle and Rod Shop.
Oh, that's crazy. So, all about the when the sales guys come in, how it is when they come in and what it's like then, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I've kind of seen all sides of it, as working in a retail store as an employee and then being the sales rep and then now buying from the sales rep. So it's been a cool experience. So
now you're the manager of Cope's Tackle. So what's that like?
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. I love it. I talk fishing all day, talk to the sales reps. It's just a good time. So, there's a lot worse jobs you can have. So,
and that's how we met, right? I mean, through the Sims days and just the shows and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The fishing community is super tight knit and small. And, you're a big fly fishing guy. I do a lot more conventional fishing, but it overlaps quite a bit.
So you grew up bass fishing?
Yes, sir.
So what lakes did you fish, or where did you go?
So, I mean, growing up, my dad was never really into fishing. I had some uncles and grandpa that was, so they took me to kind of, further destinations. But primarily it was anywhere I could ride my bike to, or my mom could drop me off after school. Uh-huh. So it was park lakes, similar to like Riverwalk Park we have here in town. And then as I got older, I had buddies that with trucks and boats and whatnot, and we started fishing bass tournaments, and there's all kinds of lakes across Southern California. Lake Paris, Diamond Valley, Silverwood, all the San Diego lakes, Hodges, El Capitan. San Vicente was open for a while and then closed for a long time, but I guess when I was out of high school, that opened back up. So pretty much any lake south of the Grapevine.
So did you get a boat eventually? And
Oh yeah, I think I had a boat before I had a truck. So I convinced my parents we had to do some senior project where you had to fix something, or it was pretty much anything. It was just a senior project, and mine was to grab an old beat up bass tracker and get that thing back in working order. But I didn't even have a driver's license to get it to school, so I think my parents had to drop it off for the presentation. So, but as soon as I got my driver's license, we were fishing. So,
did you ever do any competition as a kid or anything? Or
yeah, I started bass fishing tournaments probably about 15 years old. I had some buddies who were older guys that fished at the parks and whatnot just in their spare time, and they fished tournaments on the weekends. So I fished quite a few tournaments with them down in San Diego area.
What did you learn as you grew up about bass tournament fishing? Like as far as what the fish were doing, and were you finding out that in some of these lakes they're doing different things, and did you have to pre-fish and all that? What was that like?
Yeah, we did some pre-fishing. I mean, I was in high school, so Monday through Friday usually I was at school, and tournaments aren't really in the summer; they're during the winter, and fall. So I didn't do too much pre-fishing. I did fairly well in the tournaments though, because I was fishing these park lakes that were like impossible. These fish saw so many lures every day and so many fishermen that like when you went to a big lake, it was a lot easier. So,
dude, I enter the Delta fly fishing bass tournament, and it's just so fun, man. I mean, just even catching your first fish, during the tournament, you're like, so stoked.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the tournament, it gets your blood boiling for sure. So I like it. I like the competitiveness. I'm not a big fan of the dock talk though. Before and after, and I'm there to fish.
Absolutely. So how old is Cope's Tackle?
So Cope's opened in 2013, so we're going on 9 years now, so almost 10 years old.
Have you seen the fishing grow? Have you seen fishing, like the sport of fishing, grow since you've been working here?
Yeah, so I've been here 5 years. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's grown tremendously. Maybe, the serious fishermen, I think, probably aren't so stoked about it because there's more people on the water than there used to be. But yeah, it's a great hobby, and it's definitely growing. We're seeing a lot more kids and stuff get into it.
I love the events that you guys do, here at the shop, and just getting people into the sport. I think it's super important just to get kids and people into the outdoors, And tell me a little bit about those events that you guys do, from the fishing tournaments to, I saw that you guys did a couple fishing tournaments, but you guys also have that event that you guys do here.
Yeah, so we have Fish-A-Palooza we do every year. We try to get all the manufacturers up for a huge, we do a big sale. It's our biggest deal. It's kind of a customer appreciation thing at the same time. We give away a lot of stuff. But yeah, just kind of get the community involved and get those manufacturers up, so that people can see them and, give them their opinion and tell them what they want to see and whatnot. So Fish-A-Palooza is great.
Is that in October?
It's kind of changed up a few times, but I think, the last few years we've done it in October. We've done it in May before. We kind of just play it by ear. COVID kind of threw a wrench in a lot of that stuff. So.
How many people work in here now?
So I think right now we've got 14 on the floor, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it's everything from full-time guys to guys, that work, 1 day a week. They're in high school and whatnot, work after school and stuff. So, but yeah, that fluctuates. So.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of people behind the scenes too, working in the office and whatnot. We've got our online store. There's a ton of stuff to do that you don't see kind of behind the scenes. So, are
you doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff now?
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of all over the place, man. I know most people don't see me in here ever, but a lot of I'm working at home, where I can, just in a quiet space on the computer, getting a ton of stuff done. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
One of the things I love about your guys' website is your guys' fishing report. You guys talk about not only Lake Isabella and the Kern, but you guys have a wide variety of lakes and even saltwater. right?
Yep.
Are you doing that? Is that you?
No, it's not. I've got we got Chad Burton. He's been a godsend. He writes our fish report. He's been doing it for years. And
He's a stud, man.
Yeah, he's a local Bakersfield firefighter, man.
Is
And
he?
he's a huge fisherman. He's a good buddy of mine. He fishes with us quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
And then Chris Borden is another Bakersfield firefighter who's jumped on and helped Chad out quite a bit. Because that thing is daunting. It's a ton of work, and Chad doesn't get recognized enough for how much work that is.
Right on, Chad. You're doing a good job, man. What's the best bass lake you think to fish around here?
Oh,
Let's talk about that.
That's a tough one, man. If you're talking numbers or for a trophy or
Well, let's do numbers.
So I think I don't think it's not a secret. Lake Natsimiano is insane for spotted bass. It's not unusual to have 100 fish day out there.
Yeah.
But size is kind of hard to come by. There's some big largemouth. I think Billy Moore had an 8.5 pounder in our tournament. I believe it was last year, which is a giant out of Lake Natsimiano. So they're there. They're just, the lake's just overpopulated with small spotted bass.
What about that tournament you guys do there? When is that?
So that one I believe was in, what did we do, May last year, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, there's so much going on right now. But yeah, I think it was in May. But yeah, it's a really cool deal. That's a customer appreciation tournament that we do. So it's 100% payback. We just do it as a thank you to our customers who come in, and get all their tackle.
Nice, man. And then there's another tournament on Pine Flat.
So
or you guys do that too?
Yeah, so we added in Hobie kayaks a year and a half ago, and with that, Zach Clift, one of the guys here, he does work with Heroes on the Water. He does a kayak tournament through Heroes on the Water that we sponsor, and then now he's also involved in the Central Valley Kayak Fishing Club, and they're doing a whole tournament series locally, which is something. Yeah, that's something we need bad. The kayak fishing thing's growing hugely. We just haven't had any kind of events or anything for it. So Zach's kind of spearheaded that, and we're super excited about it.
Wow, that's cool. Any other tournaments that you guys do?
We try to do like a trout tournament once a year, but there's so many already in town. You get the Lake Isabella Fishing Derby, the Buena Vista Trout Derby, the Firefighters Trout Derby, and then now we've got the Tehachapi Valley Recreation Department added a Trout Derby. So we kind of leave that to them, and then we sponsor and help out as much as we can.
Does Buena Vista have some good bass fishing?
It can. The last 2 years have been a little slow, but I think 3 years ago was insane, man. You go out there after work for a couple hours and really hammer them.
Good size ones?
Yeah, nice bass. I mean, nothing huge, but yeah, they've got a solid amount of like that, anywhere from 2 to 5 pound bass.
If you're looking for a trophy bass, where would you go?
I don't think it's a secret. Isabella. Okay. Isabella can be insane.
Yeah.
There's some huge bass in there. I think most of the really, really big bass we see come out of there. But then there's some lakes, a little north of here that have really big fish too. New Malones can be really good.
Okay. And why do you think that Isabella has such big bass? Or this year in particular is probably going to be a pretty good year, just with the water coming up and lake filling up, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Isabella, the wind probably is the biggest thing. It keeps people off the lake, and those bass don't get pressured.
True.
So there's not many fishermen. There's so many days I've been up at Isabella. I'm the only boat on the water.
Yeah.
If you're willing to tough out that wind, you can get rewarded.
Uh-huh.
But it's also fed year round with trout from the Kern River, which is huge. Makes those bass just grow giant.
Yeah.
And it's not really a secret. Everyone knows, that's the trophy lake, but it's a really hard lake to go out and catch more than, 5 fish a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Some big boys have come out of there, and girls, big bass, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Some toads.
What's your favorite bait to use in Isabella? You ever go up there?
I love going up there and throwing a Huddleston swim bait. That's probably my favorite thing to do. It's been a little tough the last few years. The bite just hasn't been that good on the swim baits, but yeah, when it's biting, that's definitely the way to go.
Do you find that the bass move up and down in the water column throughout the year?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you
maybe
find?
Isabella less than some other lakes. Isabella's not super deep. There are some deep spots, but primarily lakes, under 40 feet deep. So those fish, even this time of year when it's freezing cold, you can go catch fish in 5 to 10 feet of water.
Mm-hmm. And you're finding them more around lots of structure?
Yeah, rocks primarily at Isabella, or wood wood stumps, dead trees and whatnot.
One of the gals that I know that fishes up there, she gets some pretty good sized bass, man, even on top water.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it happens for sure. Isabella's typically a little dirtier though. It's not a real clear lake. So I think that kind of hurts the top water bite sometimes, but
what about smallmouth fishing for bass in some of the lakes? What's your favorite lake to go fishing for those?
So I've actually done quite a bit of smallmouth fishing back east, but here in California, Castaic's probably the best numbers lake. I fish for smallmouth in Southern California. You can, sometimes in the summer you can go out there and catch, 1-to-1 largemouth to smallmouth. So, but yeah, nothing huge. 3 pounds is a really big one. Yeah.
And what about like pyramid and the fishing there for smallies? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, pyramid can be on and off. They're really they're usually on shad at pyramid, so they can be hard to find. A lot of the smallmouth I've got out of pyramid are with the stripers. Boiling out in the middle of the lake. They're in 200 feet of water, and they're in that top 5 feet of the water column, moving fast. So they're kind of tough to target out there. But you can get them off the structure and rocks too.
Is that lake a little bit more clear too?
It can be.
Yeah.
It's both ways. In the summer they always have a really bad algae bloom. You can be driving over the grapevine and look down and it looks like pea soup. So, but
I've seen that. Yeah.
Castaic typically stays a lot clearer than pyramid for whatever reason.
The other cool thing that's on your guys' website that I like is the tips and tricks, and for the different species on there. Who writes that?
That's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
A couple different people do it. If we find something cool or something, we'll put on there. Kate Rowe, she actually works for us from Texas right now.
That's cool.
She does a lot of our online stuff, and she does a lot of those tips and tricks.
Those are cool, man. People like that stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Send, some of those, the one on there right now for crappies, I read that one. That one's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think Kate wrote that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's awesome.
Dude, what about the crappie at Lake Isabella?
Oh, it can be insane. High water years, man. I'm hoping this year is one of those years. So
one of the things I've always said is like, a length world record can come out of Isabella. Because I don't know if you know this, but like, I believe it's like the length world record, not the poundage, but the length world record is like 14.5 inches or something like that. Did you
really?
know that? Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I would not be surprised if it's already been broken and someone just didn't even know it.
Totally. So you have to have the official, world record measuring device, and be a member or something like that. And I totally could. I've seen people catch, 14-inch crappie or bigger out of there.
Yeah, and Southern California is so different than the rest of the United States in the fact that like most of our fish, we don't measure in inches, or I should say freshwater fish. In the ocean, you do. Yeah. But I think that's something ignored. I do a lot of fishing back in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and stuff, and they don't even talk pounds at all on any fish. It's all inches.
Oh,
everything's inches. So pike, muskie, walleye, lake trout, all that stuff's in inches. So
you went back there to the St. Croix manufacturing place, and did you fish when you were back there?
I did. Yeah, I fell in love with Wisconsin back there. That St. Croix factory is just so cool. It's like an American factory, stuff you don't see anymore, where people are actually building stuff from scratch by hand. So if you guys haven't seen that, that's a super cool thing to, maybe YouTube the whole process.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. And then the North Woods is just amazing. So the fishing is crazy good for smallmouth, muskie, all kinds of different species.
Did you float?
I did. I floated a couple rivers and did some fly fishing back there, which was really cool. Awesome. Yeah, like Wisconsin River. I caught a pike on a fly,
nice, man.
Small pike and some smallmouth. I hooked a muskie, but lost him, unfortunately.
Wow.
So.
And what were you throwing when you caught those on the fly? Do you remember?
A big streamer of some sort. I don't really know. I'm more of a conventional guy. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, I love hearing that, man.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. So. Were you casting it out there pretty good?
I was doing all right, man. I was hitting myself, hitting the guide, but figuring it out, man. We made it work.
It was funny, man. The first time that I went fly fishing with John Sherman, in the Delta for stripers.
Oh yeah.
It was the first time I'd gone fly fishing for stripers. It was years ago, and he's here, guy. Here's a 9-weight, and we're throwing these giant clousers, for the stripers and stuff. And he had just gotten one of those brand new Sims jackets, and I had the same exact jacket. They're not cheap, right? And so we're casting everything, and I go and cast, and the wind blows a little bit, and it just nails him right in the back, His brand new jacket.
Bummer.
And so that was a big joke, So, yeah, pretty funny.
I think John's got the hookup though to get a new Sims jacket,
Yeah,
so he's probably all right.
Yeah, he definitely. So you guys took over the Central Valley Sportsman's Boat, RV, and Outdoor Show.
Yes, sir.
How's that been going?
Oh, it's been awesome, man. It's been a handful. Again, some of the reasons why you don't see me every day in the tackle shop. It's a ton of work, man, but it's a really cool event. It's got to keep going. Mike Hatcher's done a great job with it for 20 years. The show's 45 years old. There's just, he's ready to retire.
So did Jared kind of initiate that whole thing to get that going from Mike, or how did that all go down?
I think primarily it was, I was helping Mike a lot with it. Copes has been the biggest vendor there for 6 years. As far as a retail vendor goes, we've always helped get the fishing tackle manufacturers out to the show. So with that, I kind of worked with Mike on it a lot, and Mike wanted us to have it. There's some other people that expressed interest. He's tried to sell it a few other times. It just hasn't worked out. So it was kind of just a natural, handoff for us to take it over.
What's the hardest thing about dealing with the show? Is it all the vendors and trying to organize all the people and logistics? Yeah, I think
the whole thing's, it's been hard, but I think learning is the hardest part.
Yeah, sure.
Next year will be a whole different deal now that we know the process. The show, it's not like buying a car where someone can throw you the keys and you drive away. It's crazy. We have so many attractions and so much going on. There's just a lot to learn. So learning that, and then also, getting all the permitting and all that kind of stuff, the food and health departments.
I didn't even think about all that.
Yeah, the fire department and safety. And yeah, exactly. The musicians, we've added in tractor pulls, a tractor show. There's just there's so much. It's so, it's just a lot to throw together. I'm not an event coordinator, but now I am.
So you guys, this year, you guys have a car show and hop that's going down. What's a car show and hop?
Yeah, so there's always been the Bakersfield Car Club Council's Super Cruise Car Show, which is a fundraiser for the Firefighters Burn Foundation, and that always goes super well. Last year there was, I think, over 300 cars out there on Saturday morning for that, which is super awesome and brings a ton of people to the show. It's a lot to do. So that's been great. This year, though, we actually added a second car show on Sunday, which is the OG's Lowrider Car Show. Awesome. And concert, and then they're going to do a car hop competition, which, that's something totally foreign to me, but I'm pretty excited about seeing it. So from noon to 1 on Sunday, the 12th, they'll have that going down.
Okay, so are we talking like, where they raise their hydraulics? Is that what's called a hop?
Yeah, so they're actually going to, from what I hear, the cars move forward and backwards up to like 40 feet throughout the presentation. It's about a minute long, and they jump up in the air and everything. Badass. So it's going to be super cool. So I'm real excited about it.
So is that different than the 25th annual Super Cruise car show?
Yeah, so the Super Cruise is a Saturday car show. So there's actually two totally different car shows. The Super Cruise is on Saturday, and the OG's, the Lowrider car show is going to be on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And they're bringing Minto Buru out too for, live music. So nice. Everyone in Bakersfield knows Minto Buru. It's going to be super cool to have them as well.
Matt Munoz and the boys. Awesome. And then you guys have the Antique Tractor and Truck Show as well. Yeah, so that's going to be another new addition for the ag community. But yeah, antique tractors and trucks. I guess we've got, big rigs with trailers. It's going to be a big deal. So it was something I was like, hey, I guess, yeah, let's add it in. And then as I've seen these pictures, I'm like, telling my fiance, I'm like, I hope you're ready to have a tractor in the yard after this, because I'm liking these old tractors. And then also a cornhole tournament. You got to throw that in the mix, huh? Yeah. Yep. We added a Bakersfield Cornhole's coming out and doing a cornhole tournament on Sunday that anybody can sign up for. There's $1,000 first place prize for the pro division. And that was sponsored by Solar Energy Partners. So that's real cool. We're excited about that. Damn. And then full on what they've had in the show before is the tractor pull. Yeah, so right? The tractor pull was something that Mike did a while back. It's been a few years since he's had one. But yeah, that's another new addition to the show, that and the Joe Peters concert on Saturday night. So that gets kicked off at 5 p.m., goes till 9. Is Joe Peters a country? Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, Joe Peters is a local country guy. Local country guy. Okay. Yes, sir. Awesome, man. And is he bringing his full band? And
Yeah, full on band and everything.
Wow.
It's be about a 2-hour concert following the tractor pulls. So,
what's the hardest thing about putting on a show?
I think just organizing it again.
I mean, like most people would like put on just the car show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then, but you've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus Mental Brew, 7 things that are going on there.
Yeah.
And then not only that, we got to talk about the bass bin.
Yeah, we have about 20 attractions, man. So that's just one attraction in itself is enough work. We had a cornhole tournament out here last year, and it was so much work just putting on one cornhole tournament. So we have a lot of help, though. A lot of guys like the cornhole tournament. They're kind of running their own deal. We give them the space and everything, but they run the actual deal. But yeah, the bass bin's a huge attraction. I know you'll be up there doing some presentations on fly fishing for bass.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always super cool. Fishing Game does a great job. They go get those bass for us, to shock them out of the lake and bring them in. And sometimes we have, 8+ pound bass in there. You get to see swimming by, and the kids love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the kids can go over to the trout bin and fish for free, catch their first fish, which is another huge attraction. Pure Fishing, Berkley and Shakespeare, they jumped on and sponsored that. Help make that happen. And then we've got the fly casting bin as well, that I know you'll be on, doing presentations on fly casting. I probably need to get over there and take some lessons. So I don't know if I have any time at the show, but
no, you won't.
we'll definitely come by and check it out. So
yeah.
And then fly tying as well is another thing we added in. We've done a little bit with the Kern River fly fishers in the past, but now we have a full-blown 10 by 30 fly tying display.
Mm-hmm.
We got cameras set up to zoom in on the flies, so while you guys are tying them, we have a big TV screen in the background to really see what's going on.
Thanks for doing that too, by the way. That was cool, man. It's a full-on fly tying presentation theater for the first time ever at that show, and hopefully we'll attract some folks to get into fly tying, and check it out.
Well, again, it's something we couldn't do without you, man. You kind of see the inner workings of those attractions, and the fact that you guys have, you and the Kern River Fly Fishers and the Southern Sierra Fly Club and everyone has jumped in and really helped out to make that happen.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. So what else is there? Is there anything else going on at the show? Like some of the, we got dogs too, like the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs, jumping dogs. They always put on a good performance. It's the West Coast Challenge. So that's their biggest event of the year. Big tournament, the dogs run and jump and try to catch a toy in the air and land in the water. Yeah. I have a dog that would be great at it, but he hates water, unfortunately. So he can run and jump and catch the toy, but can't participate in the dogs. So, but yeah, that's a big deal. And then we've got hundreds of RVs and boats out there. So that's a giant deal. Our RV guys are, it's the biggest one around. No one else in Southern California does anything like that.
They have killer deals too.
Yeah, epic deals. We've got Royal Coach coming out, Barry's RVs, Happy Days, Blue Dog RVs. Gailey's and Royal Coach are bringing out boats. We got Tommy's boats coming out. We have Pacific Marine up in Fresno or Madera. They're coming down and bringing a bunch of boats. So
nice, man.
I mean, it's an all-inclusive huge show. We kind of cover everything. And then, guns and ammo is another thing we added in. So that's a whole nother haul. Yeah. Turners will be out there and quite a few other big, guns and ammo dealers. So Dirty Bird, TNT, Liberty Safes, they're going to be doing some killer giveaways at the show.
Plus all the guides and outfitters that are going to be there as well.
Yep.
Showcasing their talents and where they guide and all that, bass outfitters to saltwater outfitters to, I'm sure, outfitters in other states are coming too, right?
Yeah, we have people from all the way in Alaska, Mexico, all over the place, and we have Frank Lepresti's coming back this year. The owner of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. He owns like all the long range boats down there. Yeah. So he's a living sport fishing legend. He'll be out there doing seminars. So it's really all inclusive. It covers everything.
Talk about some of the bass bin seminars. Who's going to be there?
So Rusty Brown is always a big one year after year. He's a huge Lake Isabella guy. Him and his dad have caught numerous big bass over 12 pounds. I think his dad's always on the back of the boat out there dragging a big worm and a jig and sticks a 14 or 15 pounder. It's really insane. So we're always excited to have Rusty, and with the high water at Isabella and whatnot, it's going to be a great year at Isabella. So that's a big one. Randy McAbee with Stealth Sticks will be out there, and he's another big local pro. So that'll be a cool presentation. Again, Frank Lepresti with Fisherman's Landing will be big. And then I know you'll be up there. So.
Yeah, we talk about fly fishing for bass, which is kind of new, so hope to do that, show some different techniques for that for sure.
Yeah, again, and one I'm gonna miss, man, but I really wish I could sit there and watch that whole presentation. I've tried it up at Isabella, man, and I'm just terrible. So
we'll have to go fishing together, man.
Absolutely.
I would love that. I would pick your brain on what you're doing and stuff, and kind of try to copy that with a fly rod, getting the flies down or
for
streamers
sure
down. It would be fun. It'd be super fun.
Definitely. I've tried it with the tungsten line up there on Isabella, man. All I do is beat myself in the back, and I've gotten bit quite a few times, man. I just can't get it down that strip set with that tungsten line. It's tough, man, to drive that hook home, but I've been dying to catch a big bass on a crawdad fly.
That's awesome, man. So if people want to find out about the show, where would they go?
Yeah, so on the show, you can jump on calshows.com. That has all the show information, and we've got tickets for the show on there. If you buy them in advance, they're $12 versus the $15 at the gate, so save a little bit of money there. Social media, though, really is where you want to jump on to keep track of all the attractions and the events going on.
So on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook for sure. Just look up Central Valley Sportsman's Boat and RV Show. We're on there.
Okay.
And then for the shop too, look up Cope's Tackle and Rod Shop on Instagram and Facebook. We post multiple times a day, every day, the latest and greatest products and whatnot. And then our website's tackleandrod.com, where you can, buy tackle and also, check out the fishing report and see what we got going on.
So if you guys haven't been to Cope's Tackle here in Bakersfield, come check it out. It's at 1654 Callaway Drive. And check out this beautiful shop. They've got everything that you could possibly want for fishing.
Yeah, we try to have it all, man. Like I told Guy, if we don't have it and you ask for it, we try to add it. So
Seth took me on a tour, and it looks like they got everything that you could possibly imagine, including live bait, kayaks, nets, everything you could want for saltwater and freshwater, man.
Yeah,
pretty amazing. Seth, thank you so much for being on my podcast and talking about all the things that you guys do, and hope to see everybody at the Central Valley Sports Show, and we'll see you guys in. That's March 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yes, sir. March 10th through 12th at the Kern County Fairgrounds, and it's 10 to 7 Friday and Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday.
Right on. Well, thanks, Seth.
Thank you, Guy.
Yeah, brother.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
It's a Guy Jeans podcast.